Would you please stand for a moment in silence? And also, let's remember some of our BISD employees, Nelda Laura Garcia, Mundo Martinez Rivera, and Maria Alviar. Thank you, Ms. Cortez.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Let the record stand that Mr. Colunga is not present today. Number 5, Pat.
Recommend approving the agenda of the regular board meeting of June 15, 2010 with any corrections or deletions.
Mr. Sprinton.
Thank you, Mr. President. Under closed meeting, A, items number 9 and 10 will be deleted from the agenda. Under closed meeting A, level 3 board review and grievance, items number 10, 9, and 10 will be deleted from the agenda. Under closed meeting, personnel matters, item number 40, page 346 will be replaced with page 346A. Page 346B and page 346C will be added to the agenda backup.
Motion.
Move to approve.
We move to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. I only have one vote.
I was in favor.
Favor.
Those in favor say again.
Aye again.
Aye. Those opposed, nay. Thank you. Pat?
Item 6, recommend approving the consent agenda. The board has agreed to discuss the following items. All of the items below that are not called out will be approved by consent.
Okay. According to what I have here, our members decided to discuss items 15, 16, 18, 19, and 20. 27, 28, 29, 31, 32, all personnel matters, 34, 35, 36, all the way to 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, and of course 42.
Move to
Got it,
approve.
Mike? In second, had been moved by Ms. Cortez, second by Ms. Peña. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Okay, Pat.
Superintendent's report, A, conference presentations. 1, presentation of the Johnny N. and Nena S. Cavazos Athletic Scholarship Endowment recipients.
Mr. Springton, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. At this time, I will turn this over to Mr. Carlos Guerra.
Mr. Aguilar, Mr. Springston, members of the board, I'd like to introduce Mr. Tom Chavez, our athletic director, and he will present the recipients this evening. Coach Chavez.
Thank you, Mr. Guerra, Mr. Aguilar, Mr. Springston, board members, thank you very much. At this time, I'm very proud to introduce 5 recipients of the Johnny and Nena Scholarship Fund. But at this time, I'd like to introduce Johnny and Nena for the gracious thing that they've been doing for over 12 years, supporting our athletic program and giving scholarships to students out of their goodness of their heart. Johnny and Nena Cavazos, would you please come up here? I would like to introduce the recipients of of the 4th Annual Johnny and Nena Cavazos Scholarship in the amount of $500. But before I do that, if the proud parents that are here would like to stand, I'd like to introduce them also. I think we've invited all of them. And parents of Mario Castañeda, are they here? Right here. There we go. Lopez High School, Joanna Gonzalez. Parents Eleuterio and Bertha Gonzalez, would you please stand? There they are. Parents of Pace High School, Amanda Nicole Garcia, Roman and Maria Garcia, would you please stand? Thank you. Parents of Porter High School, Jaime and Teresa Guillen, would you please stand? And parents of Juan Orlando Garcia, Sandra Garcia, would you please stand? Very proud of the students and we're proud of the parents. Thank you very much. At this time, Johnny and Nena Cavazos will hand out the scholarships to these students. Hanna High School, Mario A. Castañeda. Matter of fact, that's right. Getting a hold of Mario. Mario is at UTB right now doing freshman orientation for his college next year, so he'll be able to use this money. Okay. Second recipient for Lopez High School, Joanna Gonzalez. Joanna Gonzalez and his mother Berta Gonzalez. Pace High School, Amanda Nicole Garcia. Ramon and Maria Garcia. Pace High School, yes. Porter High School, Jaime A. Guillen. Parents Jaime and Teresa Guillen. Rivera High School, Juan Orlando Garcia. Parent Sandra Garcia. Hold on. At this time, we have a special introduction for appreciation for Mr. Johnny and Nena Cavazos.
Board members, members of the audience, it's with great appreciation that our board and myself as superintendent of schools would like to sincerely thank Johnny and Nena S. Cavazos for your generous donations to BISD an additional $50,000 to the Athletic Scholarship Endowment, which means a lot of scholarships money for our kids, and that you're helping our kids reach their endeavors and reach their goals and their dreams. And we cannot thank you enough for your generosity and the things that you're doing to help our kids succeed. Thank you.
Yeah, this time we'd like to take a group picture with the board and Mr. Springston and the recipients of the scholarship.
Parents. How are you doing?
Kristen, right here yourself?
Good, sir. How are you?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
He's got so many things. He's got so many things.
Come up here, sir, because there's so long.
How are you? Good to see you. Congratulations. Thank you so much for everything. Congratulations. Thank you, ma'am. Congratulations, ma'am. Congratulations. Congratulations, sir. Congratulations.
Great job for Brownsville. Congratulations.
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 Congratulations to you too.
Congratulations to you, family.
Congratulations. Congratulations, Mama. Congratulations, Madam. Good job. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Young man, congratulations on your scholarship. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Mama. Congratulations, Mama. Congratulations to you, Doc. Thank you, baby. Thank you. Good job.
Congratulations. Congratulations, sir.
So much. David, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Use it well. Congratulations to you.
Thank you, ma'am. I still remember since I was in JD Caramba.
I don't know, all these years ago. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Use it well. Congratulations. Hello. Hello.
It's all right, man?
That's okay. That's okay.
He had to pick
veterans. Roman.
I did get 13, right?
We need to squeeze more.
Proof.
Yeah.
Oh, he's right number one in the state.
I grew. He said that's too
Oh, did he grow? Equally positioned, right?
Good night. Thank you.
Yeah.
There'll be 700 to 150 kids.
Mr. Cavazos, on behalf of the board, we want to thank you. I know that in the past you've always been giving scholarships to our students of BISD. We appreciate it. We thank you for your generosity. Thank you very much, sir. Anyone? Ms. Peña?
Congratulations to all the graduates, and I know the parents really appreciate it from the bottom of our heart, Mr. Cavazos. We thank you that you have our children in mind. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Item 2, Presentation to board by Mrs. De Leon, students from Ortiz Elementary. Board member request.
Mrs. Springton, please.
Thank you. Ms. Pena.
Yes, good evening, everyone, Mr. Aguilar, and Mr. Springsteen, and board members, administration, and members of the audience. We have Ms. De Leon's class here, and I'd like to hand the microphone over to her while she introduces her class. They had a performance at the end of the care. I'm a care partner for the school, and they performed this song for me in this kind of end of the school year and have a good summer, and they touched me, and I said, would you perform it for us at the meeting, our last meeting per se for the month of June, so we can have, or right after school's out, I'm sorry, so we could say goodbye to all the kids and have the same thing that I felt that day when they performed these songs. They did a wonderful job. So, Ms. De Leon.
Good evening, Mr. Springsteen, Mr. Aguilar, Board President, and members of the Board. We would like to thank Ms. Minerva Peña for inviting us to perform before you today. Our class is honored by her invitation. Mrs. Peña has been our partner in education during the 2009-2010 school year. Every 6 weeks, Mrs. Peña visited our classroom, sharing her knowledge, and she was committed to making partners in education successful at Ortiz Elementary. She shared in our many accomplishments throughout the school year. Mrs. Peña has set a wonderful example as a leader of our community. She has been an inspiration to my class and has encouraged the students to continue striving to meet their goals, and their hard work and determination will pay off. Our song, The Climb, by Miley Cyrus, was the one that they performed for her. I chose this song for my class because I wanted to relay its strong message. The song makes us aware that life is a journey full of challenges where we will encounter many obstacles. It is about climbing your way to your goals by trying your best and not giving up. It tells us that victory and success do not determine and shape who we are as a person, but the journey that takes us there. On behalf of Ortiz Elementary, my class, my 5th grade class, and Mrs. Lopez, our principal, we would like to thank Mrs. Peña and all other care partners present for the commitment towards the success of the students at our school and for being positive role models. Thank you for uniting with us and making BISD an exceptional district. Here are some of my students that made it tonight. This is Sine Rodriguez, Yasha Iniguez, Alexis Ornelas, Ashley Fuentes, Carla Palacios, Rafael Valdovinos, Ryan Ruiz, Ángel Macías, Manuel Lozano, Javier Martinez, Julio Paez, and Robert Luna.
Now, students, you have all the room that you need back here, so feel free to take all the room you need.
I'm dreaming, but there's a voice inside my head saying, you'll never reach it. Every step I'm taking, every move I make feels lost with no direction. My faith is shaking, but I gotta keep trying. Gotta keep my head held high. There's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. The struggles I'm facing, the chances I'm taking. mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Keep on moving, keep climbing, keep the faith, baby. It's all about the climb. Keep the faith, keep your faith. Whoa. Try with me, here we go. Boom, boom, clap, boom, clap, clap. One, two, three, everybody come on off your feet. I'm gonna tell you about a beat that's gonna make you move your feet. I get the barbecue show and tell you how to move. If you're 5 or 82, this is something you can do. Pop it, lock it, polka dot it, country five and hip hop it. Put your hop in the sky from side to side. Jump to the left, stick it, glide. Zigzag, cross the road, shuffle in diagonal. When the drums hit, hands on your hips. One foot in, 180 twist and then zigzag, step side. Lean and left, clap 3 times. Shake it out, head to toe. Throw it up here, that's how we roll. Do the hold down, throw down, do the hold down. Throw down, do the hold down, throw down. Throw it up here, that's how we roll. We get to 4, 5, 6, and you're feeling busted. But it's not time to quit. Practice makes you perfect. Pop it, lock it, polka dot it, country five and hip hop it. Put your hop in the sky from side to side. Jump to the left, stick it, glide. Zigzag, cross the road, shuffle in diagonal. When the drums hit, hands on your hips. One foot in, 180 twist and down. Zigzag, step slide, lean and left, tap 3 times. Shake it out, let it go. Throw it up here, that's how we roll. Do the hold down, throw down, do the hold down. Throw down, do the hold down, throw down. Throw it up here, that's how we roll. Boom, we got, boom, boom. Here we go. Boom, 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 pop it, lock it, polka dot it, country five and hip hop it. Put your hop in the sky from side to side. Jump to the left, stick it, glide. Zigzag, cross the globe, shuffle in diagonal. When the drums hit, hands on your hips. One foot in, 180 twist and up. Zigzag, step slide, lean and left, tap 3 times. Shake it out, head to toe. Throw it out again, that's how we roll. Do the hold down, throw down, do the hold down. Throw down, do the hold down, throw down. Throw it out again, that's how we roll. Do the hold down, throw down, do the hold down. Throw down, do the hold down, throw down. Throw it out again, that's how we roll. Boom, tap, tap, boom, boom, tap, 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 boom, 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 tap, tap, tap. Throw it out again, that's how we roll.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful summer. Can we have a picture with your class real quick up here before you leave? There we go. Here's a pin. Here we go. Thank you very, very much. And I want to thank Ms. De Leon because she organized this and the students were so willing to participate, and it takes so much courage to come out in front of a crowd and do this with a smile on their face. So I think let's give them another hand for the courage to come up here and actually do it. If we have parents, you can come up here for the picture after she's done. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Did everybody get a pin? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, ma'am. Bye, guys. Thank you. Have a wonderful summer. Oh, you need a pin. Let me. Great job.
Okay.
They did a great job.
Good job.
Great job. Have a wonderful junior high. Years.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Go, Robbie!
Good day. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Welcome. Good job, sir.
Good job, ma'am.
Item 3, recognition of BISD students, kids voting spring activity winners.
Thank you, Mr. President. At this time, I will turn this over to Ms. Momfiles.
Mr. President, Mr. Springston, members of the board, that's kind of a hard act to follow. But along the same thought that Miley Cyrus has, it is a long climb. It's a mountain, but our Kids Vote initiative in Brownsville continues to work at making all of our students grow up and preparing them for responsible adulthood. We have Ms. Graciana de Peña here tonight to make the presentation.
Thank you, Ms. Monfiles. Mr. Aguilar, board members, Mr. Springston, administrators, and members of the audience, it's a pleasure to be here this evening. I'm Graciana de Peña, and I'm Executive Director for Kids Voting USA Brownsville. A very unique partnership exists between the Brownsville Independent School District, the University of Texas at Brownsville, TSC, our charter schools, our non-public schools, our home schools. This is the only organization of this type in the nation, this type of partnership. And before I go on, I would like to express my happiness in seeing something like this we just saw right now. That's a very fine example of a partnership where we are teaching the students or involving them in service learning and civic engagement. And I think that's what it's all about. We cannot isolate ourselves. I think that the trend, if you look nationwide, is for partnerships and civic engagement service learning throughout the country. I would like to introduce the former director for Kids Voting, and he is currently a staff member of the Center for Civic Engagement, Father Armand Matthew. He has done an outstanding job in getting kids voting going on here in this area of the country. And we're very proud of what you have done. Father Matthew will be celebrating his 88th birthday this year on October 28th. So mark that date on your calendars, and we'll give you more information about that. We are very pleased with the entries that we had in the essay and poster contests that we had during the latter part of the spring. The essay, the posters, and you will be getting a sample of those in just a minute. Ms. Garcia? We are going to be placing these posters all over town in October to encourage everyone to come out and vote. As you are aware, Brownsville voters are very well known for not showing up at the polls. And we are working very hard to try to improve that. That's why we're working beginning at the elementary level on through high school. We feel it's very important that our people go out and vote. And this certainly has been a very helpful program. I would like to, first of all, mention that only the winners who are currently attending Brownsville ISD schools will be presented here tonight. In our essay contest for grades 6 through 8, we have our second place winner, Brianna Zarate, Stillman Middle School, and she's accompanied by Gracie Zarate, who is the Dean of Stillman Middle School. Our third place winner, Yanel Esparza, was not able to be here with us this afternoon. In the essay contest, grades 11 to 12. First place winner, we have Cassandra Hernandez, Hanna High School. Second place winner in the essay contest, Joe Saldana, Hanna High School. And by the way, the Hanna High School students are represented by Adriana Lipa, representing Miss Terry Alarcon. Our poster contest winners in the lower division. First place, we have Rochelle Garcia from Egley Elementary School, and she is here with Ms. Ruiz. Congratulations. Here's your certificate.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Mama, you look lovely.
Thank you.
Our second place winner is Cristal Quintero, and she is from Castañeda Elementary School, and she's accompanied by Nora Camargo, the principal. Here's your certificate.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations, Mama.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, young lady.
Good job.
Our third place winner is Julian Loera. I'm sorry, Juan Soto, Julian Soto. Congratulations. Egley Elementary. Nora Camargo, principal.
Congratulations.
Poster contest, grades 3 to 5. First place, Deborah De Leon, Egley Elementary. And she is here with Ms. Dickinson. Congratulations. Cassandra Vasquez. Second place winner, Cassandra Vasquez, Solomon Ortiz Elementary School. And Ms. Sandra Lopez is here. She's the principal of the school.
I'm Mrs. Nettles' teacher.
Huh?
I'm Mrs. Nettles' teacher. She's Nettles the teacher. And your name? Mrs. Nettles the teacher.
Mrs. Cisneros, the teacher. Jennifer Lopez is our,
The real Jennifer.
the real Jennifer Lopez. I have been corrected. The real Jennifer Lopez was our third place winner, and she's here with her parents.
Yeah, her parents are here.
Okay, will you all stand up? And
The principal of 10. The champion principal.
The champion principal. Thank you.
Would you guys come up for a picture with the parents, students, administrators? Yes, yes. Ms. De Peña?
Wait, as soon as everybody.
Ms. De Peña, you want to step up also?
Father Matthew.
Thank you. Okay, we all look very nice.
Little was up front and then the back. Y'all want to move back to the wall, please? All the way to touch the wall. All the way to the wall.
Come on back. Come on back.
All the way to the back. Move them back. Here we go. There you go. Everyone look forward. Hold your stuff.
I know that these students are going to go out and vote as soon as they become eligible, right? Also, I'm going to ask you, those of you who got, and I'm sure all of you did, got one of the posters or a copy of one of the posters. We're asking everybody who got one to display it at their office or their business sometime in October. We want to really make a big push to encourage people to vote in the November election. Thank you very much.
Gracie, thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Grace. Pat?
Item 4, presentation on update of BISD and FDIC Money Smart program.
Mr. Springton.
Thank you, Mr. President. At this time, I will turn this over to Ms. Momfiles.
Mr. President, Mr. Springston, members of the board, another wonderful initiative that began this year is the Money Spark program. And we have B. Garcia, Elementary Curriculum Instruction Administrator, to introduce the presentation. Ms. Garcia.
Good afternoon, Mr. Aguilar, Mr. Springston, board members, administration, and audience. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Money Smart. And this is a program or an initiative that we took place with IBC Bank. And we had 24 elementary campuses fifth graders at these 24 elementary campuses that participated. We also had middle school and high school, and it gives me an opportunity at this time to personally thank Ms. Garza from IBC Bank, Olivette Fisher from Rivera High School, and company, who will be presenting a presentation to you this evening on Money Smart. Ms. Garza?
Good afternoon, members of the board, Mr. Aguilar, Mr. Springston. I want to introduce, and I think you've already met him before. He was here a year ago presenting this to you all, Mr. Pranay Sharma. So he wants to say a few words.
Hi, everyone. Hello. I'd just like to start by thanking the board. I really appreciate this chance to come again and present what progress we've made on the project and what we hope to do in the future. So I'll start by, because some of you might remember me, some of you might not. My name is Pranay Sharma. I'm 15 years old, and I go to a boarding school in Boston. I've been going there for the past 5 years. It's called Groton School. And in 8th grade, I started going around to banks and institutions asking, hey, let's start some kind of financial literacy deal. Something to raise awareness about financial literacy in the community. And so one day, I stumbled upon a phone number from, I forget who it was, but they introduced me to a lady by the name of Bertha Garza. And we talked and we worked some things out, and eventually somehow the U.S. Department of Treasury got in, and then IBC started working in conjunction with us, in conjunction with the U.S. Department of Treasury, and then a bunch of other banks started coming in, and we all had this whole system going. And then BISD joined, and we started teaching schools. And I'm really happy to say that we've had tremendous success within the BISD, and I have two things to ask now. One, for the future, I hope that BISD will at least keep the schools that it has in continuous, and hopefully more. We're aiming at 100%. I know that's a hard goal to make. 100% of the schools, that's a lot. But with the progress that we've made in 1 year, I think we can do it. And the second goal that I'd ask is this hasn't much to do with anything that you can do now, but we are going to take your example, your embracing of our program, and use it to show other districts like Los Fresnos and other local districts how they can promote financial literacy within their schools as well. And hopefully we'll have lots of success, just like we had with you, to show statistics and give a little presentation on what we've done and what we have to do in the future. Here's Bertha Garza. Thank you.
Like Renee, he's a better speaker than I am, so let's give him a big round of applause because he started this program. Thank you. Thank you. Like Renee is saying, it just doesn't happen overnight. Renee had a great idea, like a lot of adults do, but a 15-year-old, at that time he was 14 last year, and there was an article in the paper, I don't know if you all read it, but I got a hold of it, and that had been my dream. I've been in banking almost 40 years, and financial literacy and education has always been my dream to just distributed throughout the schools. But he came around, and it just, the U.S. Department of Treasury, but it doesn't happen with just one bank and one person. I have to introduce several that represent this. It's a collaboration of volunteers. Sandra Langley from Compass Bank joined in. You want to stand up, Sandra? Patty Ayala from Frost Bank. Rusty Burchot, that is not here. Wells Fargo Bank joined us, and what other bank? Of course, IBC. But there was several other banks and a lot of community member volunteers, retired teachers, retired bankers. We have, right now, I can gladly say we've got over 98 certified Money Smart trainers out there. And so if you bear with me, we're going to do a little presentation on our progress. But I have to principally thank you all for accepting us into this program, for believing in us. And I got to thank you all for allowing Ms. B. Garcia to help us through this program, and Rosiera, because they have been instrumental. So let's give them a big round of applause. And I want to... And the other person that has been just right there by my side is Olivette Fisher. Olivette, I'm going to ask you to come here and do this presentation with me, because, come on over. Let's give her a big round of applause, because a lot of the success is there. This happened a year ago. Like Pranay was saying, he had the idea, but the U.S. Department of Treasury also had that idea. And they came down to Brownsville, and they were looking for someone to help them spearhead this program. And so they wanted someone to lead the way, and thank God we had been doing this on a minimal basis. So we just decided, let's go ahead and go full speed ahead. So what we did is we got a committee formed. And where do I push, Mr. Tech? Right here? Oh, right here.
Right there.
Okay. And we had a committee that we formed, and so we decided, where do we start? We could have started in the high school level, the middle school, whatever. What we decided was there, number one, fifth grade students. And I think those kids that sang were like around that age, because during this year, we've been to a lot of schools, and they're about that age. They're very smart. Are you smarter than a fifth grader? That's the program that inspired us to go ahead and start at the fifth grade level. And I think, like Ms. Peña was saying, we have to start young. In order for us to change our community, that's where we have to start. Plant that seed. The second thing is that BISD allowed us to go into the school district, and 24 of the elementary schools signed up, and the principals were on it. And the only thing on reporting on that, most of the schools participated with all their fifth grades. Some of them couldn't because of the curriculum. So I would like to see in the future, all 34 schools, or I think there's 34 or 36, participate. We don't want any of the fifth graders to be left behind. It's too much information that they're lacking of learning, and so we want to make sure that all of them get taught in the future. So we provided also, in this case, Miss Olivette Fisher helped us with this particular initiative, and she brought in the business magnet students to become trainers. So we trained them there at the bank, and what they did, she can tell you a little bit more about it, and they became literate, they became certified, and they went out and taught other students, and they even taught parents, and you'll see some of the presentations there. So not only did they teach the class in English, they taught it in Spanish as well to the parents. So we're real proud of these students. So basically we began in 2009 to present this program. The program was called Community Financial Access Program from the Department of Treasury. And like I said, we taught on 24 schools with the help of Ms. Rosiera. We coordinated all that, and out of 33, so that was a great beginning. Now, BISD assisted us with the application of the volunteer work. If we had not gotten that step, approved by you all, it would have been a stop. So we thank you for that. That made our work a lot easier. Your department here helped us process 67 of the trainers. The other trainers are out there, but have, like everything else, they're volunteers, so we can't really pressure them but this next year we'll get them on the program. We got 67 overall trainers. So BISD was the pilot program, and all these volunteers did a fantastic job. So behind me, there's 67 behind me, so I represent them. The trainers were assigned to campuses throughout the community, and I basically kept track. Some reported their instructions, some didn't. There was a whole process to follow. So these are the modules that were taught to the kids. Bank on It, Introduction to Banking Services, checking it out. It's basic but very informative that would benefit not only a fifth grader, not only an elementary, but a senior in high school, or you can elevate it to any level, to college level. So the ones in red were really not, we didn't focus on that because basically it's for older kids and even for adults, because this whole program is, they have it in adults and in Spanish also. We are very, very proud to report that we taught 1,314 students with Module 1, Module 2, 1,343, and so on. So the numbers are there. Basically, the basic modules were 1, 2, and 3, and those were taught to over 1,000 some students. Fifth graders, we were able to manage to go into and teach 1,294 fifth graders. Middle schools students, 126. High school students, which were basically the Rivera High School students, and school parents. The parents came into the picture when a lot of them had questions when we would go to the elementaries, and the parents wanted to know what we were doing, and so the principal set up presentations for us. So there's a need as well for the parents, and that you'll see in our presentation as our future goal. These are the trainers. They're the 98 trainers that are in the community, and they're all on the same page. They're aware of the need for financial literacy, and they're very involved and very committed to our community. And so their schedules were sort of difficult, but some are teachers because Ms. Olivet got all her staff through the program, so we didn't have to certify them. We also have the Parent Development Board, also all of them were certified. And so basically what we were doing, we went into the classroom, we were embedding financial awareness at an early age, and we have a program also called Micro-Community, and so we're instilling that in the schools. We've got 2 micro-communities in Brownsville. One is Hudson, and one is a private school, and next year we hope to have Cromac, and we hope to have another private school. So basically what we did here, this is where the students came in to our training rooms, and they became trainers themselves. So we're very, very proud of this. Here I'd like for Ms. Olivet to maybe share a little of what they learned and how they used it. Ms. Fisher?
Good evening, everyone. Basically here, what you're seeing on the screen is our International Business Magnet students at Rivera High School. They're presenting to 7th grade students in exploring career classes at Perkins Middle School. And they did go to a couple of other middle schools, and they were able to train them in financial literacy. They covered 3 modules over a course of a couple of days that they met with all periods throughout the day. And here's some more pictures where they actually met with some of the parents, and they presented some modules on credit and how to have good credit. And they did present in Spanish, which I thought was a really plus. They were able to target their audience well. The parents had a lot of questions, and I was very impressed that our students were able to stand on their own and answer these questions about credit and how to open accounts, and and basically they had a lot of questions about when they're high school students, they were getting all these credit card offers and what they should do, etc. And here we have a visit. FDIC came down to visit. I'll let Bertha talk about this one because she was the one that toured with them throughout the day, and this is just one of the shots that we had.
I think that was right before I came to give the presentation last year, and they were going to come down. They wanted to see what we were doing, and they visited with the students, and they interviewed the high school students on a one-to-one basis. They had just gone through the training, and they had, my gosh, they were very impressed with the answers, with the honesty of these kids and what they had really learned. So they took it back to Washington, and needless to say, we were invited to Washington, but we got some media attention from, and they call it Money Smart. So they interviewed, and they here in the Herald, and students sharpened skills at Rivera's International Business Magnet. So we got some advertising from there. And also we got quite a bit of advertising that whole year, because education is everybody's business. It's not only the business community, but it's the school's business. It's every member of the community's business. And so there was several publications that were sent out there. Going back to the visit from the Department of Treasury, they came back and they wanted to meet with us, and they wanted us to go to Washington. So I took Oliver and I invited Rosie, but Rosie couldn't go. But we met. These are the heads of the department, and they are Ms. Green, and she is basically the head of the Financial Access Department, Financial Education and Access Department, and Ms. Kittman, and the project manager for the pilot program that we had here. And when we visited up there, we visited with 7 other communities like California, Florida, Kentucky, Mississippi, and we shared in our programs. And all the programs were great. We came back with so many ideas. But one of the best programs, I have to say, it was ours, because it was geared towards kids. And basically, it was focused on start early, and that was their idea that they loved, And they questioned both Oliver and myself, how do you get a BISD to join with you all and do this? I said, well, because we're unique. You don't know Brownsville. Our people and we're different. So, we had a lot to say about that. And so we were very, very proud to be there. And so basically our initiative continues, and that's what we're here to report. There's an increase. We don't want it to stay there. Our volunteer base is growing. And so we want to continue. We want to do our share and teach our children, because that's what it's all about. But this next year, we're focusing on middle schools, and we've already started there. We've already taught what group has been taught?
The seventh grade Exploring Careers teachers.
All the 7th grade Exploring Career teachers have gone through Money Smart already, so we're already ahead of the game. We're getting prepared for next year. We definitely want this program to continue with your help, and that's what we're asking here today. We want you to see the progress, but we want your support for next year, because we really need it in order for us to encompass all that we want to do. We want to implement an incentive program for the students and volunteers, and we are forming an annual committee advisory meeting. So with the board, with the committee that we have now, we're just going to make it more formal to continue to go forward. Here is another shot of the 7th grade middle school teachers, and they just went through the training in May. And I'm very happy to say that 2 of those teachers are in the ALA program in our bank today, and they are so much ahead of the game by knowing more about Money Smart. So basically, these are other photos that we took, the different classes that we took, but it's, one generation plants the tree and another gets the shade, and we believe that by us planting this seed, we're just going to have a difference in our community. And so we thank you for your support, and we ask for your continued support. We also ask that you really get serious about educating the high school. Our volunteer program cannot handle the high school. We are going to leave that job to you all. And but hopefully throughout the years, as we continue to train and to educate the younger generation, they will be better, or they will even ask for more training as they get older. So thank you for your support, and if you have any questions for any of us, you know, we're available. I didn't say who I was. I thought everybody knew me, but I'm Berta Garza, and I'm a first vice president at IBC Bank, and I'm thrilled to be able to spearhead this program. Thank you. Is there any questions?
Anyone? Any comments? Mr. Colunga?
Ms. Garza, congratulations on a job well done in 1 year. You have made tremendous progress through all of the volunteers and all of what is being taught at the elementary as well as middle schools. I agree with you on the need for more involvement for the high schools, and I will certainly support your efforts 100%, as well as the entire curriculum as an important part of what high school students need to succeed in college and to continue to become financially literate. Thank you.
Thank you. I did fail to say that out of these middle school trainers or teachers that are going to go out there, they're actually going to be able to train 3,500 middle school students, and we're excited about that. Okay? Thank
Mr. Aguilar?
Ms. Peña?
And I also congratulate you, because I heard you when you said this is a dream of yours. And
yes.
And I hate to say this, but wouldn't it have been nice for us to have kept it going? Like when I was in school back in the old day, we had a program like that, but it just diminished. I think it would have helped the economy a lot, and I'm so glad that we're doing it now in the state of economy that we face, that they can fix it for us and help us stay on track. So thank you. I'm glad you saw it become a reality.
Mr. Zayas?
Ms. Garza, at the very inception of this program, I think I showed up in one of the first meetings, and you guys really got it and took it by the horns instead of did a lot of talk, and I really appreciate, Olivet, all the work you've done to get this program going. Just keep up the good work.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Cortez?
Ladies, thank you for all your hard work, but I also want to thank the young man who brought it to us from the get-go. Mr. Sharma, thank you for bringing it to our attention. Obviously, this is something that you wanted to have done in Brownsville, and it's already exceeded what you thought would happen in the first year. And something tells me you're going to be quite pleased with what happens in the second year. So thank you for all your efforts.
He came into town 2 days ago, and he was in my office yesterday. I mean, the day after. And what can I do? And he's helping us with Los Fresnos, and we're taking this to Harlingen, like he's saying, to McAllen. We already have contacts that want to do this, and we will present it to the principals in Austin. Austin wants to talk to us about it. And so it's growing, and it's, we just let the Lord guide us, and He will, where it's needed. So thank you for your continued support, and I just, and I thank all my volunteers, because without them, this wouldn't happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Garza.
Thank you.
Pat?
Item 5, presentation on monthly report from the BISD Bond Oversight Committee. Bond Oversight Committee meeting was held on June 3rd, 2010.
Mr. Springton, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Barbosa, there you are. Thank you for being here, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Strigman, Mr. Aguilar, board members. We did meet on June the 3rd here at the administration building. Staff represented to us all of the projects that are coming to an end. A lot of them are basically done. Like I said, we only have Manzano and the high school basically are the ones that are left at the with the bond money that's remaining. I know we're looking at one of the new. I think it's an elementary school that you're going to start building again. We're looking at that one. it is beginning to get started. As the school that was supposed to be open in August, they were not necessarily behind, but because of the weather and because of other circumstances, they have gotten all their works together, and the contractor has promised that it will be ready to go on August the 20th. The other change orders that will be presented to you later on at the meeting were all basically approved by the committee that the oversight. And we welcome our two new members, Sylvia Atkinson and Mr. Lopez, who are two new members to the committee, and we welcome them. And they were asking a lot of questions. Some of the questions really didn't refer to us as far as the bond, so they may feel free to come and ask you as far as how you all went about the zoning of the schools and how that was determined. But we told them that had to be through administration, so they may be going that route to determine that. But basically, that was our meeting. It was very successful. Everybody was present. I'd like to thank you for the people that nominated the new people to make it a full board. So we're all ready and looking forward to continue our journey as we getting ready to open our new schools this coming August.
Thank you, Mr. Barroza. Are there any questions? We also looking forward to that new high school and middle school. And I know it's going to be very successful. And I want to thank you and all the oversight committee members all this time for the wonderful work that you do and keeping everybody on task and focus on what we need to do for the children of Brownsville.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. And I guarantee you, the citizens of Brownsville will be very proud of the new high school that you all put together and the construction that's going on. It's just awesome. It's very awesome high school.
Yes.
So we look forward to the opening date of that.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Barroso.
Thank you, sir.
Aguilar? Mr. Springsteen, I also want to thank you. I've seen some of these meetings, and I have a chance, and I thank you for your patience, the time you take to explain things and to make sure everyone understands and no one gets left in the dark or confused. I've seen that, and I thank you for doing that because you really go out of your way to make sure everybody's on the same page. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I do remember the times that we started those meetings up there on the second floor, and it was real tight and compact, and that was years ago. We've come a long ways, and now we're just down to the very end of the last really two projects of this 2006 bond. And so appreciate your hard work and your dedication to our district.
When things go well, everybody is behind and pushing. So I know that this was a very, very successful bond election when we had it, and all the projects that came out of it, all the new schools that we have. It's just great. It's just great to see all these new buildings for our children. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Butch. Pat.
Item 6, presentation of the Brownsville Independent School District financial report for the period ended April 30, 2010.
Mr. Springton, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. If we have any questions on the financial report from April 2010?
Yes. On those chargebacks that are included there on our notes, those chargebacks are actually, they were budgeted? Are those numbers actually, were they budgeted for this school year?
Mr. Fuller.
Thank you, Mr. Springston, Mr. Aguilar. Ms. Garcia, I'm not sure what page you're referring to, but the chargebacks for the utilities for food service are, and chargebacks for any type of transportation charges are.
Okay, that was my question.
Anyone else? Pat?
Item 7, presentation on notification of contingency fund change orders.
Mr. Springton.
Thank you, Mr. President. If you have any questions at this time, I have Mr. Garza and his staff in the audience if we have any questions concerning any change orders.
On these, I do.
Ms. Peña. Ms. Garcia.
These change orders are, We just started the central warehouse, correct?
Yes,
We're
ma'am.
already on the second change order. The water meter taps, was that because it was discussed the last time on that change order?
Mr. Garza?
Mr. Aguilar, board members, Mr. Springston. This change order for the water, that was included in the scope of the contractor, and we decided to let it be done directly with PUB. It came in at a cheaper price, so we got a credit for $6,445. I think PUB was at $5,000. So we decided to do it with PUB, with their crew. It had been included in the contract. We took it out and got a credit.
I see that there's revisions on offices and right here.
We
That
do
was
have
just-
one request from the director's office at the records to add a window, so we went ahead and did that.
My question to administration, is this reviewed with the administration before the blueprints are out and approved?
Yes, ma'am. We go through the blueprints. We go through everybody in those departments. And unfortunately, there are some things that we may overlook, might see something that's in the blueprint once it gets going that might be better for supervision or might be better for looking out into the area. I know we've done some change orders in principals' offices so that we could see things in the hallways. And here at the warehouse, I think he was looking out into the work area, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's my only question. Thank you.
Pat?
Item 8, board calendars.
Mr. Spring.
Thank you, Mr. President. As I'm looking into June, I look back and I'm thinking about all the graduations we just went through. Congratulations to all those graduates. I'm kind of going back in history a little bit. That was a nice 5 days, and it was nice to be able to see all those graduates walking across the stage from all 5 high schools, and AAs and principals and all the graduates. Congratulations. We do have Principals Express checkout tomorrow on the 16th. Do not forget that the 20th is Father's Day. We have GT testing coming up on the 21st. And we also have some retesting coming up on the 29th of this month for tax grades 5 and 8, math and reading retest.
Okay. I don't know if this is the appropriate time, but I believe there were an award or recognition by the State Auditing Committee on Budget. You received a letter, Mr. Springton?
Yes, sir. I sure did.
Would you like to tell the audience?
Did you get that copy, Mr. Farr?
Thank you, Mr. Spring. Yes, we did get notice from the GFOA about our last year's audit. We did get accepted, and we're still waiting for notice of the second award, and then we're going to bring both of them to the board at that time, and also a press release for the community.
So on behalf of the board, congratulate all your employees and staff. Mr. Fuller and Mr. Reese, I think that's, how many years is that in a row?
This will be our third year, I believe.
The third year in a row? Yes. And also, we also have a news about a board member, Mr. Springton.
Yes, sir. Mr. Cortez, congratulations. For those people who don't know, Mr. Cortez is now has been selected as one of the 80 school board members to be a part of, to shape up the legislation, to be a part of, and to work with a program with the TASB, the Texas Association of School Boards. He was elected to the Legislative Council and is responsible for combining regional advocacy and priorities into one statewide agenda for TASB. And for my recollection, this is the first time that we've had a representative that has represented Region 1. And so for that, Mr. Cortez, that's a grand position, and very proud and very happy to know that you're part of BISD and that you're representing Brownsville, but not only Brownsville, but you're representing Region 1. And so appreciate your being a part of this legislative council.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any questions on the calendar?
presentation, sir.
Pan? No, I'm sorry, Mr. Colunga.
The budget, approval of the budget.
29th. Yes, sir.
Okay.
The next item on our agenda is a public comment period. This is a time for citizens, staff, or students to provide their comments to the board. Statements and questions from the audience will not be permitted during other portions of the meeting, so please let us hear from you now if you have comments to present. To have your comments heard tonight, your name and the subject matter of your comments must appear in the sign-in sheet, which is located in the rear of the meeting room. Each speaker will be limited to 5 minutes to complete his or her comments. With all due courtesy, the presiding officer will strictly enforce that time limit. If a group of people want to be heard on the same topic, the board asks that they designate a spokesperson to avoid needless repetition. The board has adopted rules to preclude the abuse of open forum by, for example, anyone uselessly repeating the same comment or complaint meeting after meeting. All participants must understand that if your comment in the judgment of the presiding officer constitutes a complaint against an employee or officer, the presiding officer will interrupt and ask you to stop and direct you to proceed with the BISD's formal grievance procedures, be that DGBA, FNG, or GF local. With those cautions in mind, we will now be glad to hear the general comments.
John Clark.
Good evening, Superintendent Springston, Board President Aguilar, and other members of the board. I'm John Clark, President, Brownsville Classroom Teachers Association. I'd just like to speak quickly and directly to the point. Some items that are on the agenda and some items that are coming up in the near future for the district. One is one thing that's on the agenda tonight is the further allocations for our BITech computer system that, among other things, handles our payroll. And since this system has been implemented, we've had problems with payroll, with supplemental pay, with stipends, with our W-2s, with our sick days, and with our educational credentials being transferred over. You know, that's a lot. It's just is frequent and is continual. And I see that we're ready to spend possibly more money on this system. And I would just ask the board to really take a look at that and see if this is the best of all possible systems, and really maybe even have someone from the company come in and stand right here and tell you about this system, and if it's really, and when you listen to them, maybe you can decide if that's really what we want. I think that would be interesting, if nothing else, before you maybe take action tonight. Another item I wanted to speak about is the step increase for the teachers, counselors, librarians, nurses, speech pathologists. It is scheduled, it's written in our compensation plan for this year. At this point, however, our administration is indicating that they would like to not award the step increase for those employees this year. I don't understand the legal basis for that. I know the legal context that's going on now. There's an attorney general that needs to make an opinion and stuff like that, and a commissioner to rule on that opinion. But I just do not understand the legal basis for not awarding that step at this particular time. So that, I think, will come up in the near future, and we may be speaking about that again. I'm interested in the budget, and we've been following that. We've all been working together on that. It was indicated at the last budget meeting that it's not a deficit, it's a negative cash flow. We're not going to be spending as much, we're not going to be having a negative cash flow as large as we thought we would, and I think it would be interesting to find out where didn't we spend the money that we thought we were going to spend, so we can get a good idea of where we are with the district's budget. And finally tonight, I'd like to suggest that the Cost Containment Committee that met several times and had a lot of ideas present a report to the board in detail. There is all at the suggestion stage, and not everything we came up with is even a suggestion. But I think you guys have only heard the surface level of that. There was really quite a bit there. That, whether you're going to act on it or not, you should be aware of it, so that you know what the possibilities are, and maybe these things will be coming up again next year. So we're all kind of celebrating many wonderful things at the end of this school year and looking forward to our summer and working on issues like salary and budget in the near future in this summer. So thank you very much for your time tonight, and good night.
Thank you, John.
John. Patrick?
Board President Aguilar, Superintendent Springsteen, members of the Board of Trustees, my name is Patrick Hamas. Before starting on the business approach, I'd like to take an amendment from or go back to our last meeting. Our last meeting was followed Memorial Day, and I forgot personally and for the association to thank all those who have given their lives for our country. Okay, I forgot to recognize those, and also, as it was said earlier by Board President Aguilar, Father's Day is coming up, and so for all those who have your fathers or have lost your fathers, I hope you have fond memories. And just for a personal moment, I'd like to mention my father. My father was Colonel Norman W. Hamas. He served our country in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam, and was wounded in the first two. He now resides at Arlington National Cemetery. And he passed away 8 years ago on Father's Day. So again, for all those who have your fathers, I hope you take the moment to enjoy them. I am here tonight as the consultative representative for the Association of Brownsville Educators, 3,800 members strong and growing. We have attended all but the first budget meeting and pretty much all the board meetings. And in coming up here, we have tried to find ways to persuade you to look at possible increases for employees. Where you've tried to use empathy, where you've tried to use humor, and I believe at the last meeting I even begged a little bit for money. So what we are asking for, and in conversation with administration and others, we have decided that we would not push for administration and certified increases. We understand on the biennium. We are pushing strongly for an increase for the classified personnel. And we are asking for you to set aside $2 million of the budget for the classified personnel. And for those in the community who may be watching or listening to this, $2 million sounds like a lot. I never thought I'd be coming up to board and asking for $2 million. But $2 million out of a $493 million budget is less than a half of a penny. It's less than half of 1% of the total budget. Okay. Right now you have, and I'm going to round off, $88 million unencumbered. By giving $2 million, which is a 2 3/4% increase, you will now have $86 million unencumbered. Okay, and congratulations to Mr. Fuller and his office on their audit reviews, but let us also point out, as we have pointed in the past, that the last few times that you've been audited, you've been cited for having too much money in reserve. Okay, we want you to share this with those who are in the greatest need. We have had Father Frank here from Valley Interfaith, and he asked for a living wage of $8.50. We presented to you that $8.50 was not a living wage. Okay, a living wage is actually at minimum $10.08. I get too carried away with numbers, so let me put a face on who we're talking about when we're talking about increases. Okay? We're talking about your bus drivers who transport your students and your children to and from school every day. We are talking about your food service workers who get up and prepare breakfast and lunch for our children every day and who do not get paid when they're not working during the summertime. We are talking about our custodians who clean the toilets, sweep the floors, clean the classrooms, paint the classrooms, keep the school clean and neat. The maintenance workers who keep the schools up and running. We're talking about the clerical, the secretaries, the clerks who keep the schools running. Without them, the schools would fall apart. We're talking about instructional paraprofessionals who in some cases are in the life skills classes, are changing diapers, toileting, feeding, and in classrooms are also educating special needs students. We're talking about our technology people, like the gentleman tonight who are videotaping and who still don't have floor mats for their feet to stand on when they have to videotape here for hours upon end. All these people is who we're requesting a 2 3/4 or a $2 million increase or $2 million we set aside for. We are the largest employer south of San Antonio. We are the leaders. Okay? You need to set a good example, a good Christian example, and to do the right thing. We have the money. Okay? You need to set aside $2 million for the employees. When we talk about the Association of Brownsville Educators and being 3,800 members strong, we also are something else. Re-endorse winners. In the last election for the TSC candidates, we endorsed 3 candidates, all 3 won. In the last county elections, of all the candidates that ran, all but one of our that we endorsed won. Okay? We expect and we look forward to the support, but we want to stress that no matter how much we like you or respect you, do not take us for granted. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. George Borrego.
Since when does a trainee do better than the trainer? Today. Mr. Springston and Mr. Aguilar and board members, my name is George Borrego. I represent the Association of Brownsville Educators as their president. And I think Patrick said it all, and I'm not going to repeat it. These people that we want the raises for, a lot of them are still working. We have thrown the administrators to the dogs. The teachers have bypassed their raise, but we want something for our paraprofessionals, our ESPs, our secretaries, our bus drivers, our janitors, who work very hard and are at the bottom of the pay scale. So, board members, I urge you all, and boss, to dig deep and look for some money. In this huge budget, I think we can find some for our people. And I did want to stress to Mr. Long that he was, that we were, if he called me to interview me and I didn't have a chance because I was in Austin at a board meeting, I would have told him, yes, the teachers are not getting a raise. Yes, the administrators are not getting a raise, but we have not given up on our paraprofessionals. So hopefully we'll work on a new article. In reference to the Money Smart, that's an excellent program. We do have financial literacy in the high school that is required to be taught. I, in fact, several years ago, had an opportunity to set up Valley Federal Credit Union offices at Porter. And when Lorenzo was here, and he did not allow it, so I let it lie. But if the new administration is in favor of it, I know Los Fresnos does have a credit union office at the Los Fresnos High School. Students can open an account with $5. Some of these students have never seen the inside of a bank. It would also provide some employment for the students that run the credit union. They will be fully trained and bonded by the credit union. So there was not going to be any financial responsibility from the district. The only thing would be a small area where they could have a safe and a little office. So maybe we can start that for our high school students. I think would be a great idea. Thank you very much.
Thank you, George.
Item 15. Recommend approval to purchase additional installation, training, and consulting services from SunGuard Public Sector for upcoming major upgrade in the estimated amount of $92,400 from approved budgeted local and categorical funds for the 2010-11 school year. Items and services to be purchased are subject to district needs and funding. Sole source.
Ms. Garcia. Oh. Go ahead. Have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed say nay.
Item 16, recommend approval to authorize administration to accept the HVAC upgrades at Falk and Still Middle Schools as substantially complete.
Ms. Peña?
Yes, Mr. Aguilar, Mr. Springston. I'll get there as soon as my computer can help me. No, thank you. They all fall apart the same. Sorry. Okay, here it is. This upgrades, can you give me a little more detail, more specifics for what I see here, exactly the upgrades? Because I'm looking at this, I'm trying to turn, I'm sorry, I'm having... Yeah, but I want to know exactly what substantially was completed.
Mr. Garza?
Yeah, Mr. Aguilar, board members, Mr. Springston. At both Falk and Still Middle School, the units that were in the worst shape with regards to the maintenance department were actually switched out, taken off the roof, and installed with newer units. Most of this work was done during holidays and on weekends, and we actually started up most of these air conditioning units in February, and we've been working with the contractor just to finish all the little details, and now we're coming for substantial completion approval.
And this is for which school are we talking about?
For both Falk and Still Middle Schools.
Okay,
We
'cause-
removed the oldest air conditioning units where maintenance was having major problems and replaced them with newer units.
And the reason I ask is I was recently at that school, and for a totally different event and different, and I know that there were some air conditioners that were leaking into the library. And they went and they showed them to me where they were up on the roof, and there was a lot of little things that, how old are those units? Because I was there about maybe shy of what's today? Shy of a month ago. I was there, and the air conditioning units were leaking into the library. And I have photos of them.
You said, and we sent some people out there to check.
Oh, is that the one, Mr. Springston? Is that the one that's being? Because the fixtures are being affected. The electrical wires are they're wet. The inside of the fixture is wet, and it looked pretty nasty. It didn't. So I'm wondering, were those the ones that were being? That's why I circled this. Are these the ones that were being replaced?
That's the units that I sent you and some crews out there to go check.
That's correct. That unit in the library are not these units. That unit was probably installed about 3 years ago when we did that wing. You're talking the library and the two-story wing, I'm assuming.
That's correct.
Yes,
Okay.
and I know that when we were looking at making corrections, and is it the same company, are we using the same material or the same units in this replacement that we used in that one? Because that's a fairly new building, Mr. Springston, and it's a brand new library, and it's already being leaked into. The water's already coming in because of the units. So I'm wondering, did we go to the same supplier? Is it the same installer? Are we going to have the same problem with this that we had with those, that we're having now with those?
No, and we're not having those problems now, are we?
No. To answer your questions, Ms. Peña, that wing was done with a general contractor. We finished about 3 years ago, and it's a different company completely. The company we used to switch these units that we're going for stamp completion was not involved in that construction. Now, we did have those leaks about 2 weeks ago. Those units and the roof itself are under warranty, and we had the people out there to correct the problems.
Okay, and Mr. Springston, may I address Cesar?
Yes, ma'am.
And I guess my question is that, are we monitoring, is someone keeping a log of the quality of air condition, quality of work that's being done, quality of items? For example, that's not even 3 years old and it's falling apart. So do we have a log somewhere where we log that we've done business with a certain company, certain product, manufacturer, and we see that it falls apart within 2 years, which is like, that's pretty bad because we pay a very pretty penny. So are you keeping a log somewhere, sir, where we can keep in mind for future projects that we use this particular item and this particular vendor, this particular contractor, and within 3 years it fell apart and we went knocking on the door because I was told that it was addressed, but it kind of it fell on deaf ears. I know that the building, the doors are falling apart, they don't close anymore. It's a brand new building and it was in really bad shape, in my opinion, for something that we paid a pretty penny for. So are we keeping along, sir? To make sure that this doesn't happen at another campus and we go and hire the same people and have the same problems and kind of throw money away in that manner?
Yes, ma'am. To answer your question, anytime there's a problem in one of the schools that we've just finished and there's still warranty on, we get an email that comes into our office. We contact through the architect, the general contractor, and there's a warranty issued, and we file all of those items. Now, after the warranty periods are done with the contractor, which is 1 year, all the operating manuals are sent over to our maintenance department, and then from then on, they keep tabs of it. And if there's still a warranty on some of these items, there's more than 1 year warranty. In air conditioning, sometimes we have like 3 year warranties on motors, that type of thing. They follow up on that. And we do keep a record of the contractors. When we go out for bids and we receive new bids for different works, projects, we take that into account when we do our ranking.
Okay, and I appreciate that. I just want to make sure that the year doesn't go by and the problem doesn't get addressed, because I know you're overwhelmed. I understand that, and I thank you for what you do. But you're just one person, I know that. And you're overwhelmed when things fall apart. I just want to make sure that someone's on top of that so we don't miss the warranty. And because that costs us money when we report it, and it gets reported, 368 days after. And that's 3 days, shy of the warranty. So you do have someone who's constantly monitoring that. When the complaints come in, when the repair requests come in, somebody is monitoring that.
We monitor that, and then when the company goes to do the warranty work, we send our inspector out there and be sure that it's done accordingly. And if it happens again in the future, we go through the same process and we keep tabs of it.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
I move to approve, Mr. Aguilar.
Be moved to approve. I have a
Second.
second. A second by Ms. Peña. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed say nay. Pat?
Item 18, recommend approval to cancel the July 6, 2010 regular board meeting due to scheduled holiday.
Ms. Peña?
Oh, no, just, so it's going to be canceled altogether, so we'll just have one meeting?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and that meeting is scheduled to what day in July?
20th.
Okay, I'll be out that day, so I apologize, I won't be able to be present.
That's fine.
Move to approve.
Second.
Been moved and approved by Dr. Escobedo. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Next.
Item 19, presentation of PAL program, discuss, review, and possible action, board member request.
Ms. Peña.
Mr. Springsteen, did we get information on on the PAL program? Because I understand that they're going to end it, and it's a good program that's been helping our students. They were told that I was advised that the monies is no longer going to be available for this program to continue. And I was just wondering, is there any way we can look into this? Because I understand it's an excellent program that's helped so many students go a long way in their education. Is there a possibility to look in to see how we can salvage this program?
Ms. Monfos, can you give me some information?
Mr. Aguilar, Mr. Springsteen, members of the board. Actually, the PALS initiative began 3 years ago in 2007, 2008 at one middle school, Cummings, and it was to attract students from all 10 middle schools. At high school, the location was at Hannah, and it was to attract all of the high school students to that one location. It was designed especially for students coming from a foreign country who had limited or no prior school experience. So they just didn't have much experience in school. The reality of the issue is, let me start with high school first. When we started at Hannah in 2007, 2008, we had 20 students. And then in 2008, 2009, we had 20 students. All 20 students were from Hannah High School. So one of the objectives, and that of attracting the students from all over the district, simply did not work. Those students just didn't want to leave their home campus or the campus where they enrolled and transfer to Hannah. So that in the last year, we tried another form, and we put one ESL teacher at each high school to serve as sort of a resource teacher to move among the students. But still, that's 5 teachers, and that's only about 170 students. So if you break that down, you've got about a 5 or 6 to 1 student-pupil ratio.
I'm
So
sorry,
it's,
how many teachers was that? I missed the number.
it was 5 teachers,
And students?
about 170 this past year. But the 2 years before, it was only 20 students with 4 teachers. So at the high school, it really hasn't, absolutely, I'm very sure that those students have benefited. But with the decrease in the amount of bilingual funds that we've been receiving, we've just had to make some of these decisions. At middle school, the story is almost the same. Cummings was the location, and it was supposed to attract students from all of the other middle schools. Well, for the last 3 years, we've had 21, 20, or 12 students from Cummings, but the other 9 middle schools only sent between 11 and 12 students. So again, the idea of attracting those students to that location so that we could work with them more intensively just didn't pan out that way. At middle school, we had 6 teachers, and for example, this past year, with 22 students, that turns out to be a ratio of about 5 students to 1 teacher. So although the incentive, the thought seemed like it might have been a good idea really for BISD, financially, with the bilingual funds, we simply just can't afford it anymore. Now, does that mean we're going to leave those students high and dry? No. All of those students will, beginner students, first-year students, receive double block. We call it the newcomers. It's in the course listing guide. First-year students to BISD get double blocked in middle school and in high school so that they get a lot of extra support via their ESL teachers.
Mr. Springsteen, may I address Ms. Monfils? If I heard you correctly, you said there's 170 high school students to 5 teachers? That's 34 students per teacher, the way I do my math. So am I missing something? Because you said 5 to 1.
Divided by 5 teachers.
I'm sorry? I heard you say 5 teachers.
Yes, yes.
To 170 students.
35.
So that's 35 to 1. I'm sorry, I had heard 5 to 1. So when we break this down, because I understand the program is a successful program. It really, really helps these students that come in to our schools, like you said, with very limited skills when it comes to education. Is somebody going to monitor to make sure that these students, and I understand that we need to cut. I agree with that. But when we cut and we are going to lose students in the process, then I have a problem with that cut, and I want to make sure that doesn't happen because I've heard wonderful things about this program. And I want to know, do you have something in place to monitor so these students don't fall between the crack in high school and drop out on us because they see that nobody's there to help them?
They will have an ESL teacher in high school, and as I mentioned, those teachers will be with them for double blocks of time. In other words, more than just one period, they'll be in there for two periods. Also in the high school, what we've also started is our Lucha program, which is also very successful in helping students acquire courses in their native language as they're also learning the English. So we do have the support system in place, yes, ma'am.
Okay, and if we were to get funds, Mr. Springton, in the future to be able to bring something like this back, would that be something you would consider? Or
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
No action?
No action.
Well, there's no action. The item
Thank you, Ms.
itself.
Monfils.
Item 20, review, discuss, and possible action regarding Veterans Memorial High School second floor safety issues. Board member request.
Ms. Peña.
Yes, Mr. Springsteen, Mr. Aguilar, the reason I put this on here, because I was watching the bond committee meeting the other night, for lack of a better program. I enjoy keeping up with what's going on with the bond committee. And I heard them make a statement that they had presented something to the board and that we had rejected it. And I just kind of thought, did we not leave that to administration to take action on that? So we didn't reject anything
I didn't see that meeting, so I'm not for sure.
It's the last one that just happened. I just happened to be watching television, and I flipped through the channels, and I saw that, and I watched it for about 20 minutes, and they made a statement that they had brought it to us, and that the fixture of the second floor because of the safety, but that we had turned it down. But do I recall us just saying you will look into it and you'll do what's best, and we left that with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I just want to confirm that happened, because that's not what was said that
I don't
night.
believe there was ever an agenda item on that at all that I recollect.
Not to my knowledge. That's why I'm
Yes.
asking.
It was up to the
That's all.
administration to look
Please.
into that.
You remember that one? I know that we discussed it, but I don't think there was ever.
Yeah, Mr. Springston, when this was first presented to us, we had like 5 options, and we first presented it to the Bond Oversight Committee. And there was one option with a trellis, which was to leave the railing as is, but have a trellis underneath, and I think most of the members liked that idea at that time. And I did present to the board the 5 different options, but as Ms. Peña mentioned, she's correct. At that time, the recommendation was for administration to decide on which one, and we went with the one that's going to be installed hopefully by the end of this month.
Okay, thank you. No
Thank
action.
you, Mr. Garza. Pat?
Item 27, recommend approval of Budget Amendment 107 in the amount of $362,000 for Fund 190, QSCB Lease Revenue Construction Fund, additional funding.
Ms. Garcia.
Yes, I have a question. We have here on our agenda that it's going from Fund 190, QSCB Lease Revenue Construction Fund, to move them into Function 71, Lease Revenue Construction Fund 362. That's going to be utilized for the new elementary school? Is that correct?
Mr. Springton.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ms. Fuller.
Thank you, Mr. Springston, Mr. Aguilar, members of the board. Ms. Garcia, what we're doing here is when we set up the transactions to record the bond proceeds and the payment of the underwriters.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you, Mr. Fuller. Can
When
you
we
get
set
closer?
up the journal entry to record the transaction for the bond issue, for the school qualified construction bonds, not only do we have to record the proceeds, but we also have to record the fees or the closing cost for the financial advisors, the closing costs of the bond counsel, and the closing cost of underwriters. And that's the portion that we're now reporting. This is a little housekeeping that we're doing before the end of the year to record this transaction.
Was this already somewhere budgeted for us to approve, these
This-
362, or is it part of that money that's already set aside for the elementary school?
It's part of the proceeds when we receive the funds.
Part of the actual proceeds that are going to be coming in
It's one of the
back to us.
transactions that we need to record.
Okay.
Move to approve.
you.
Been moved to approve in second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those
Nay.
opposed say nay. 1 A. And Peña not present. Pat?
Item 28, recommend approval of Budget Amendment 108 in the amount of $389,672 for Fund 276, SIP Academy Fund, additional funding.
Yes, Ms. Garcia.
Yes, on that's 389,672. Those amendments, did we foresee these functions moving our monies from one fund balance to the other function, or what? Why are we having to do this?
Mr. Fuller.
Mr. Springston, Ms. Garcia, the reason why we're doing this, we received a notice from TEA that we received additional funding. What we're doing here is we're aligning our general ledger to the notice of grant award.
So this funding came in when? Were you notified?
I'm not sure the exact date, but it was probably within the last six to 8 weeks.
Okay. Thank you.
Move to approve. Let me move. And second, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay.
Item 29, Recommend approval of budget amendment 109 in the amount of $149,988 for Fund 409, Texas Ninth Grade Transition and Intervention Continuation Grant, new funding.
Ms. Garcia.
Again, was this also a notification from TA or somewhere else?
Yes, ma'am.
That is correct.
Okay.
Move to approve. Moving to move and second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, a nay.
Item 31, recommend approval for the annual software maintenance agreement for SunGuard Business Plus applications, SunGuard Student Plus applications, SunGuard IEP Plus applications, disaster recovery services for all SunGuard applications for an approximate cost of $321,937.
Ms. Garcia.
Yes. I would like to know, first of all, how many districts are using this software, this program, just like we are in the Valley? Can somebody answer me that question?
Mr. Fuller, I don't know.
What we have here is we have a few district administration readily available, and we have two representatives from SunGuard. We have Lindsay Miller and Mr. Eric Walsh.
Could they please step up to the podium so I can ask them the questions, please, if possibly?
I'd like to thank the board for the opportunity to be here. Thank you.
Would you know how many other districts within our area are using this program?
I don't have exact numbers in front of me, but I can tell you off the top of my head, districts in the state of Texas, I can name several that are using the Business Plus product, such as McAllen ISD, Corpus Christi ISD, Austin Independent School District, Spring Independent School District, and I can get you formal numbers pretty quickly subsequent to this meeting. There are also number of districts using the eSchool Plus product, the IEP Plus product, Los Fresno School District close by, Far San Juan Alamo, Victoria ISD, Harlingen ISD are all using business SunGuard Plus products.
Okay. My other question is, will this upgrade, once we make the transition from the 7.7.2 version that's going to convert to the 7.9 version, how is the company going to guarantee that our change is going to be beneficial to our district? Because I know that we've already, I was not here to approve the other item, but I think I'd like to ask administration if there's a connection from item number 15 to the item number 31, because it's the same company, but except one of them shows as a maintenance. Correct?
Correct.
So they go side by side. One of them is the maintenance, the yearly maintenance, and this one is to be able to make the upgrade.
That's correct.
Okay. My question to you is, how do you guarantee that this move from 7.7.2 version to 7.9 version is going to fit our needs?
I'm going to address that question in two parts. First, the item on the agenda, I think that we're discussing for the maintenance, isn't directly associated with the upgrade itself. So it's the maintenance provides the software of 7.9 to you at no charge for the software itself. So I just want to be clear that there isn't an item in this particular portion for that. As far as benefits of the 7.9 upgrade itself, 7.9 in general is a larger upgrade than typical software upgrades. That's due to significant back-end changes, as well as increased, enhanced, and added functionality in the software, specifically in security, your general ledger, and your HR payroll contracts arena. To speak specifically about some efficiencies and tools that are in the 7.9 software that aren't in your current 7.7 would be things such as hundreds of standard CDD reporting tools, which would be beneficial to administration and staff throughout the school, as well as dashboard navigation, which is customizable for the end user to increase efficiency. It's a fully web-based product, which provides a consistent end user experience and greater efficiency in training staff, as well as getting new staff up to speed when there's employee turnover, which means decreased costs moving forward for the school district. Our goal really is to have, now that BISD is fully implemented on the software, and you have an understanding of how it works, we've also engaged in business process reviews with your school district, which is a detailed review of how you're utilizing the software and leveraging it based on your internal processes. Under the 7.9 umbrella for that particular project, we're including a number of tasks that will address some of the key issues that you might be having with the software that will definitely guarantee an improvement in the product, as well as implementing a number of modules that you haven't touched during the original implementation, such as Employee Online, Time Card Online, and Subtracker. So I guess I can't fully guarantee to what level you'll see increased efficiencies, but I can tell you there's a definite benefit to Brownsville specifically in moving to 7.9 and in continuing with the maintenance for the product.
Okay, so in your experience since you've worked for SunGuard, how have other districts handled the transition if they have had at any point in time the software that we have, which is the one that we're going to have to make the transition? Because obviously if you're in the business, you should know if that transition is going to work or not. And two, if it doesn't work, what are we going to do? We'll just have to come back and administration is going to ask us for some more money? And then, you know, I see here in the breakdown, first of all, taxable. It says that all these items are taxable. We don't, are districts now paying taxes? Because I thought we were tax exempt. The invoice says that it's taxable. So I just don't want any hidden fees there. That's one. The number of users, you have on some items, you're showing us here that you have number of users. On some of them you do have number of users, and on others you don't have any users, but yet the company is charging me or invoicing me for users when it's not reflecting. I have those two questions. And then my question to administration is, have we done a survey with our staff as to the actual problems that we're having so we can eliminate some of these problems? Because, you know, it just seems to me that we're paying more, and I just want something that they tell us it's going to work. We've had the same experience elsewhere, and when you make the transition, it's going to be a smooth transition. Because I know that right now with the Windows 7 has the ability to connect with Explorer 8, correct?
Mrs. Sprint, would you answer her question, please?
Yeah, I was waiting for her to finish her question. Yes, we have worked with staff. Yes, we have brought in consultants to work with us when this came online almost a year and a half ago, and we put it online within a matter of 2 months. We found that there were some mistakes that we just didn't know, trying to put it together in just about a 2-month period of time. We could always have stopped it then and maybe worked on something else, and I think the pricing of going out for something else new is in the millions. So through the consultant and looking at the internal review, we found that we didn't have a lot of communication between the different departments. And so what we have done is now are having meetings on an annual basis, and we're bringing in our consultants. They're working together. They're trying to find where these problems are, and they are sitting down and talking about them and addressing them. And now, since we are trying to put upgrades in, some of the problems was that some of the users were having to flip screens, and I think part of this upgrade was going to be able to put everything on one screen. I think you were talking about the dashboard. There were just different opportunities for us to make things a little bit easier for the user up on some training and up on some guidance through the BITech people in the BITech system. And maybe you can address that just a little bit more.
Yes. One specifically about how these upgrades typically occur with people on versions or school districts on versions of 7.7 or previous versions. The process that usually takes is exactly the one that Brownsville is partaking in right now, which is a systematic review of the software use with functional staff at the site, along with senior consultants at BITech. And then putting together a specific project plan, comprehensive and conservative, that we've done to outline any points that we feel end user staff might be needing additional training, points where it's beneficial to have BITech staff on site to provide that training, additional implementation of modules, as I said, that will gain efficiencies in the software after significant review of your use of the software. So as far as a survey of how the end users are using it and what issues they're having, again, that's the business process review that we had a senior consultant on site. We developed a formal report that is in the hands of BISD that outlines a number of recommendations that we're also folding into the upgrade project that aren't directly or solely associated with 7.9, but that are being incorporated into a comprehensive project to basically partner one another, vendor and client, to gain and leverage efficiencies and functionality in the software.
You see, I noticed that all this, there are all these breakdowns, just for interim progress reporting, there's a fee of $3,000. For discipline, it's $3,000. You know, and I understand, but is the district going to need all these little breakdowns exactly? Or are we just going to need for the grading system, for the payroll system, for the insurance system? I mean, are all these things that we've already looked at that every individual one is going to be able to service us?
It's going to service HR, finance, payroll, special services, PEMS, to be exact. And PEMS is one of our reporting that we do all of our reporting back through TEA and through a lot of our federal status. And so all of these things are now going to be combined, and it's going to be combined to work as a maintenance agreement to improve the efficiency of what we're doing here in the district. Committed to making this work. And I know that the department chairs that we've worked with and the people in BITEC, they're also committed in making this work. It's an opportunity for us to get our data and our data collection and our screens and fix some of these problems that we've had over the last year. That's what they're here for, and I think that would be a great opportunity to bring everybody on board so that this will work, and it's just a mindset, and that we will make it work. And we have the directors who are on board. I know that I see Paul back there. I know that there's a lot of us that talked about this, and I think the $321,000 to make our PEMS reporting and connecting HR and all these other departments and putting them together on the same page is going to be beneficial for us instead of having to go out and find another company that's going to cost us another $5 million. So I really think this is very beneficial to us.
And then my other question is, are we going to have to add additional servers in order for it to be able to get it to work? For the servers that we have right now, are we going to need additional servers to be purchased?
The answer to that is no. The software upgrade does not require any additional servers or hardware in order to function appropriately. I'll also let you know that the project in and of itself for the upgrade is billed as incurred. To answer your question, will you need all of those services? But no additional hardware is required for the upgrade.
And why is it that some of the items have that there's users and the other items don't have a user? What's the difference between one that is indicating a user and the other one is not, but yet I'm getting billed for it? I just want to make sure that we'll be able to have access to it as a user, and that you just don't bill me because there's not a one indicated there on the number of users. I know you have a breakdown of number of users, number of units. And on those items, on the breakdown, it's indicating that you're charging me for one of those items, but yet you don't have it's not identified as a user. So,
would you please answer that question, sir?
I have to apologize. I must be looking at a different document than you, so I don't have that in front of me. Would it be possible for me to view?
These are invoices, sir. I don't know if you're familiar with your invoices, but can administration?
I guess just from my understanding of what you're asking, the likely reason for that would be that there's products that you have, such as Employee Online, it's a module in Business Plus, that wasn't implemented during the original project implementation, so you don't have any users for that, but you do own it and are paying maintenance for it, which is another reason why it would benefit the BISD to implement that product.
So we're going to have it, but if we don't use it, we're still going to pay for it. Is that what you're telling me?
You own a product, you're licensed for it, and you pay maintenance on it moving forward.
But if we don't have use for it, why should we implement it if we're not? That's my question. Is we're given all these plus class attendance, plus daily attendance. I understand that some of those items are needed, but what I would like for administration is if we can look at it carefully to make sure that the items that we're going to purchase are really items that we're going to be using. I don't want to buy a product that's going to cost me $7,617 and I'm not going to have use for it. I mean, I just want clarification that every single product, every single item are going to be to our needs.
Ms. Springton.
Thank you. Balda, I know that you're about to jump out of your seat there to answer that question. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Whenever we started the bid for the product and then we came up with a contract, the contract included everything that the district, according to the district needs. So that's when everything came in a package, because whenever you get a contract, you get a cheaper price if you add new modules to the contract. So there was like a survey done between all the departments, and it was decided which modules we were going to purchase. So we have focused on payroll, HR, and other modules on the system first, because they're firsthand, and we really need to get those going. As soon as we're done with correcting all the problems and addressing everything on HR, payroll, and the rest of the modules, then we're going to jump into two additional modules like Employee Online, where everybody will have access to their data from their computer. So it will definitely help out, and it will definitely help out the payroll department, especially whenever there's questions about their check stubs and all that. They will be able to have that access online. So that's one of the reasons why we decided to go with the product and add those modules at the beginning of the contract back in 2004.
And how long from now will this be available to the employees? If we purchase this item right now, but it won't be available until 6-7 months later or a year later, because apparently we had bought some of this software or this program, and it never got to work. We got it going, and then we ran into all these problems and all these horrible experiences, such as payroll, because it was just not compatible, And I just want to make sure that, if I'm not going to be able to have access to this immediately, why purchase it?
Mr. Spring.
What's your implementation phase?
Right now, we're almost done with everything on the HR and payroll side, and we're shifting right now into the 7.9 implementation. And we didn't do it before on 7.7 on modules like Employee Online, because we didn't really. There's a lot of changes coming with 7.9. So if we had implemented the Employee Online before that, then we would have to implement it on 7.9, because there's a lot of changes that will benefit that module. That's why we waited. So it's going to be, I believe, in phase 2 or 3 of the 7.9 implementation to do that Employee Online part.
And phase 2 or 3 is going to take how long?
The whole 7.9 implementation will take a year, 12 months. That's where we're expecting this implementation to take. So the whole thing will be finished within a 12-month period.
Very good.
Is there any way we can, before we pay out everything, that we come to an agreement with a company that before we even pay out everything, that system needs to be fully running? And, we got to take care of our monies here. We can't just pay out everything, and then what if the system doesn't work? If at least we can at least say, we'll see if it works, let's run a test, let's see if everything is working well before I pay you the whole $321,000, because apparently, I believe, can somebody tell me the history of SunGuard? I believe SunGuard has been buying all these other little companies. Can somebody tell me the history of SunGuard? Because I know that they weren't really in the business.
I can let them.
I don't see why we have to go to the history of Vanguard. Hold on, we're just trying to find out if we can buy this product or not. Evidently, they have already explained to you that different school districts, they have been very successful. The young lady has already expressed to you the timeline. I don't see why we need to either we vote it down, vote it up.
Can I just say one thing, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Just so for my understanding, because we're going to pay tonight we're looking at approving $92,400 for the training, and it says item and service to be purchased are subject to the district's needs and funding. Is the $92,400 a one-time fee?
This will be billed as incurred. What we did with this...
No, real simple. We're going to pay $92,000 up front, or if we need up to $92,000. Up to 92.
It can be less than, no more than $92,000, but less.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. And then the $321,937, is that an annual fee?
Yes, and that's an annual fee. This is the first year that we do all products together. We have the student products, the business products, and the IEP Plus, which are special services products. We kind of merged them together into one, since the company bought the three different. There were like 3 different companies, and SunGuard got together and bought all of them. So now we're under one umbrella. That's why we came with everything all together.
And the three, may I ask real quick, the gentleman for the company? Sure. $321,000, which is over $250,000. It's almost $500,000 with the other $92,000. Is that your average? Is that your basic cost? I mean, that's our basic cost. That's your going rate, maybe. I'm looking for the proper.
Unfortunately, difficult question to answer because pricing is based on all of the product suites that are used by a school district. It's also based on enrollment of the school district and number of concurrent users. No school district has the same pricing as any other school district. So that pricing is a yearly maintenance to provide you ongoing support of the product for all three of your product lines. That's Business Plus, Student Plus, and IEP Plus.
Okay, size of the district means your staffing, your students. And this product can do other things. I guess I'm trying to connect it because with technology, does this have anything to do, or is it in any way connected to, let's say we want to advise everyone of an important danger or something has went wrong where we push in a button and it goes to everybody's phones, text. Are you guys capable of doing that? Is that what you can also implement with this, or you're just for student records and information in the main office?
The products that SunGuard provides you is an ERP financials and HR payroll solution, as well as a student information system solution and a special education solution known as IEP Plus.
Thank you.
Call the question.
All right.
I move to approve, Your Honor.
It's been moved to approve. Have a second?
I'll second.
It's been
He had a
second.
question.
Oh. No, just,
Ask the Mr. Go vote.
Call the question.
Calling.
You need to let him.
But if he retracts his motion, we'll just take Mr. Zai's motion
Yes.
and vote.
I retract my motion.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I'll second
Move to
Mr.
approve.
Zai's motion.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed say
Nay.
nay.
Item 32, recommend approval to enter into an agreement with Brownsville Public Utilities Board, Brownsville, Texas, to grant a utility and access easement as described on the attached document.
Ms. Peña.
Okay. Mr. Springsteen, can you give me a little more details on what's in this letter as far as the easement and why they need it, and are we going to get anything for it, or we're just going to give them access to it, or
Just access, ma'am. That's all we're doing, is just giving access, no cost to us whatsoever.
And it's just access, it's not ownership or anything on their part?
That's correct, ma'am.
Okay, move to approve.
Second.
All right. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Okay.
Closed meeting is pursuant to the Texas Government Code, Section 551071, 551072, 551074, 551082, and 551084.
Those I told him not to leave yet.
Thank you, sir. 7:44.
Okay. Pat.
Item 42A, discussion and consideration, cause number 2009-03-1648I, Melvin F. Webb Jr. versus Brownsville Independent School District in the 138th Judicial District Court of Cameron County, Texas.
Motion to approve. Council to proceed as discussed in executive session.
Second.
In second, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. B.
B, discussion and consideration, Joe Rodriguez versus Brownsville ISD, docket number 056, R20510, and docket number 057, R10-0510.
Motion approved to direct council to continue as discussed in executive session.
Second.
Being second, move in second, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed say nay. Okay.
I abstain.
Okay, and the next one, Mr. Sprinton.
Let's see. Now then, our next board meeting is not going to be until July the 20th. That's a little time between now and then. And if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Fuller, we were talking about the budget. We're going to do an advertisement. We're going to do a budget meeting on the 28th. Am I correct? I said the 29th earlier, and I think it was supposed to be the 28th.
I
on that
believe
Monday?
we were set for Tuesday, the 29th.
28th. I thought that's what we were talking about.
28, 29. Let's see.
Would that date matter after our publication?
Yes, we need to publish the exact date of the budget adoption.
The 29th is Tuesday.
Have we
so is it
published?
Monday or Tuesday?
No, we will publish Saturday.
Okay, we're looking for that Monday, the 28th.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Springston?
10 days before.
Yes. Mr. Springston, just to, I will be out of town on the 20th, and I apologize, I won't make that July 20th meeting.
Yes, ma'am.
One more question. The time of the meeting on the 28th, will it be at 12?
5:30?
Excuse me?
5:30?
5:30, okay.
Yes, so let everybody have an opportunity to come and
Move to adjourn.
move. Second, anyone?
Second.
To adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Good night, Brownsville.
Early. 8:30.